Position of strength. I'm Jeff Stein with today's Iowa Politics Report. Not much has gotten through this Congress. For those of us who believe less is more, or at least less means fewer ways for them to mess with our lives, that lack of action is a good thing. There has only been a 1 or 2 vote GOP majority in the House for most of the term, while there are actually more Republicans than Democrats in the Senate. But since the 4 independents caucus with the Democrats, that gives them a tenuous majority. So the mere fact that each chamber is about dead even makes the lack of action understandable. But one of the problems has been that the House is concerned with passing bills that leadership thinks the Senate will approve, while the Senate doesn't give a hoot about what the House wants. Now, here's why that's important. If each chamber passes a different version of a bill, it moves to conference committee with members from each chamber and each party serving. They hammer out a compromise, and each chamber then votes it up or down. The problem is, if one side has already compromised in passing the bill, the actual compromise is then slanted too far toward the other side. In other words, if Republicans in the House actually pass the bill they want, and Democrats in the Senate actually pass the bill they want, they are starting the compromise negotiations with each having to give up the same amount, in theory, in order to get things done. But these days, Republicans give up a lot in their version of the bill in the House, meaning when they give up even more during the conference committee negotiations, well, their supporters wind up with very little in the end. Sort of like when the school bully comes toward you. You give him part of your lunch, perhaps your bag of chips, hoping he'll go away. He takes the chips, but then also grabs the cupcake you were going to have for dessert, leaving you with just a peanut butter sandwich. Quite disappointing for lunch and for GOP voters. If Republicans in the House want to cut spending, as they say they do, then cut it. If the Senate doesn't like it, negotiate from a position of strength in the conference committee. Otherwise, you're just stuck with a sandwich. And that's the Iowa Politics Report for Friday, June 21 on Twitter, Instagram, Getter, Threads, and Truth Social at Iowa Politics. I'm Jeff Stein on News Talk 1540 KXEL.